right, let's play some more Final Fantasy XVI. I'm really excited to get back to this. I wanted to look around and make sure that I wasn't going to miss anything. I don't think I am. I want to make sure I don't miss any like side quests or anything.
Who are they?
Huh? They're freed Imperial bearers. Who the hell are you? Shit, at this rate, you won't make it through the night. Think you can find your way up them stairs to the infirmary? We need Tyre. Well, go on. Shift your ass.
Was Tyre the one looking after Jill?
So yeah, Taria is the one that was looking after Jill, but it seems like Taria basically runs this place kind of as their like either lead medic or like a civil coordinator, for lack of a better word. Like it seems like Sid is pretty important to the overall like group, but Taria seems to have a actual like responsibility over the people, which is kind of an interesting like dichotomy.
Your brand. Lady Tyre might be able to see to that. You may have been born a slave, but you're a free man now.
Let's see.
These apples are all foul.
What's all the deal?
It was over here, right? I think it was. Yeah, it's up here. I got distracted for a second. I couldn't remember exactly where the location was.
Careful, you. I've spent the whole morning on these steps.
I really like his armor. Here we go.
Your friend needs her rest. There'll be time for tearful reunions once she's recovered.
I'm not here for Jill. You're wanted downstairs. There are injured bearers in need of attention.
Well, why didn't you say so?
I did say so.
He's going to be all right. But I'll need to examine them both in the infirmary. My work's just begun.
So yeah, she seems to have some kind of responsibility over the people that they're bringing in, either as a medic, but it seems to transcend just being like the camp's doctor.
At the hideaway.
Do many of the bearers who come here arrive in this state?
It's no easy thing, casting off your chains. By the time most pluck up the courage, they're already too far gone. These two here are the lucky ones. The name's Otto. You need anything? You ask me.
Well, Otto, I do need some supplies.
Do you now? Then Lady Karen over there will be more than happy to help you.
Oh, okay. That's Charon.
Oh, and thanks. Be seeing you.
Not likely. I won't be staying.
Is that right? Well, for as long as you are here, consider yourself welcome. You helped us today, and we won't forget it.
Ooh, side quests unlocked. Okay, so this is what I was looking for. Keep an eye out for the green icon above the heads of certain NPCs. These indicate they have a quest to offer. Okay, so quests will be marked on the map. List of current completed quests can be viewed in the journal. After accepting a quest objectives will appear in the to-do list located on the right side of the screen. Objectives for the main scenario and up to 3 side quests can be displayed. Any quest can be prioritized. So this is just telling us how we can like mark things on the map, I guess. 1,000 tomes. ever-growing compendium of all things Valisthea. And Orchestrion is the jukebox for music. Okay, that's cool.
Who are these people?
All right. Oh, and it does let me know when there's a side quest available, so we'll have to go do that. That's awesome.
You another one of Sid's strays? What? We all are. Little uns, big uns, and everything in between. We're a damn sight better off here than out there in the world.
Damn it. We'll be needing more wood. But if I step away to fetch any, this lot will be down around our ears. Ah, you there. Perfect timing. Couldn't persuade you to fetch me some timber, could I?
Yeah, so I can just accept or deny, but we'll do an accept here.
I'd be happy to.
Oh, thank you. You'll be helping me and the hideaway both. Takes a lot of work to keep this place standing. More than we can manage, if I'm honest.
It certainly looks like you've got your hands full.
You can say that again. The Fallen knew their craft, make no mistake, but not even their handiwork lasts forever. That's why the walls need shoring up. Can't have the vegetable patch crushed before our first harvest now, can we?
No, I suppose not. All right, where can I find this wood?
Ask over at the White Ads. They'll point you in the right direction. Thanks again. I really appreciate the help.
Huh. Okay. So it looks like quests are going to be pretty straightforward. Nothing crazy. Nothing super involved. So I was wondering if they were going to have, like, you know, dialogue choices and, like, branching paths or stuff, but it doesn't seem like it, which is fine by me.
Excuse me. The man working over by the garden sent me to fetch some wood.
Ah, that'll be Geoffrey, Master Carpenter. Luck would have it, we've just finished cutting the timber he's after. You take as much as you need from the stack.
Thank you.
No, not at all. We appreciate the assistance.
Yeah, it feels a lot like Final Fantasy XIV quests. Oh, we actually have to...
Here we are.
Oh no, we're just picking them up.
Better get this to...
But yeah, it
was it?
already feels like Final Fantasy XIV quests, where you have like a main scenario quest and then your side quests appear on your map and you just go on and do stuff.
I haven't noticed you stealing sips.
Usually collecting things.
A new face, and dare I hope, a willing pair of hands. The fat Chocobo is a demanding mistress, and we are too few to keep her on her feet. Might I persuade you to deliver a meal or two to souls in need of sustenance? For your trouble, I can offer you the contents of my strongbox and my enduring gratitude.
I don't see why not.
Marvelous. And who
Kinda
exactly do I have the honor of addressing?
Clive.
Delighted to make your acquaintance, Clive. I'm Kenneth, and mine are the weary shoulders upon which the weight of this fine establishment rests. Now, I have 3 hungry customers awaiting their victuals. Take these if you would, and be careful, they're hot.
Okay.
Oh, meal.
Literally
How long has
just
it been?
bring him to play people, okay.
Your food.
I was hoping it might be. Well, doesn't this look fine? Thank you, lad. You're new, aren't you? Kenneth's running you ragged already, I expect, the old rascal.
Well, he did say he'd give me something for my trouble.
And so he should. We're not slaves anymore. Well met, lad. And keep up the good work.
That's an interesting thing there, is like ex-slaves being cool with mercenary pay because this is the first time they're able to own anything and like get paid for their work.
Yeah.
Oh, my thanks. I hope you do not think me lazy for waiting to be served like a lord. only my former master did not use me kindly, you see. He left me half lame, truth be told. But Sid took me in nonetheless. Well, the hideaway is the home I never knew, and a mighty fine one at that.
When he's not out chasing rumours, Sid's up there in that hole of it.
It's nice to see the hideaway finally coming alive. Wasn't so long ago us old hands were ratting about the place like peas in a bucket.
I'd been cast out and left for dead when Sid found me.
All right. So, and it marks here too which ones are for which quest. So that one has a first number on it. That one has a second number. So it's telling me which ones are which.
Next time you're in, first round's on the ass.
If you can read, don't let Otto know. We'll put you to work on the ledgers too.
This guy sounds like a Dark Souls NPC.
Well. There's so much more to farming than just seeds and soil.
Your food.
I love
Just a
this low
moment.
poly
I need to
food.
finish this. I won't be a burden. I'm of no use to anyone as I am, but maybe if I can master this.
All right, but see that you eat it before it gets cold.
Of course. Thank you.
Kind of fun.
That's the last one. I'd better let Kenneth know.
There's a lot of little characterization here.
All done, I presume? Splendid.
They were bearers. All three of them. Not slaves waiting upon their master's pleasure, but men waiting to be fed like equals.
Indeed. Equality is the very cornerstone upon which our little community is founded. Beyond these walls, we are scorned as slaves. Speaking only when spoken to, eating only what scraps our masters deign to give us. The first hot meal here is the first many will have known. In the hideaway, we are free. Truly free to speak as we please, when we please, and to eat what and when we desire. More than reason enough to trust in Sid's vision, wouldn't you say? Now, I promised you something for your trouble, did I not? The contents of my strongbox are yours to do with as you will. Thank you, Clive. Do come and visit me again, won't you?
Nice. Okay, cool. All right, we're right. Timosa's nondescript lump of rough-hewn stone is but a nuisance upon which to stub one's toe. To the blacksmith, however, it is much, much more, for the metal contained within may be fashioned in inexpensive yet durable gear. We already read that one out loud, I think. Countless treasure coffers lie across the realm, just waiting to be plundered. If you find one, don't hesitate to kick it open with X to reap the bounty. Okay. Go on, no one's looking. I have explicit permission. Badge of metal. Okay, we'll take that in a bit.
We should go and help.
I want to go over here and forge that thing. The broadsword.
Not Sangfordian, do you?
Oh, I need more word for that. Okay. Wait a second.
Well, so
Don't I need to make the broadsword for the first time? Or no. Okay, I see. I already have the broadsword, but to make it a +1, I need to upgrade it. Got it. Okay. Interesting.
I heard they escaped their masters in the Imperial capital.
Oh, you're back. Hope fetching that wood wasn't too much trouble.
Wood planks. Several lengths of weathered, slightly worm-eaten wood, salvaged and replaned to perfection for use in hideaway repairs.
Will this be enough?
This will do nicely, thank you. With a bit of luck, the walls won't be falling in on us just yet.
That sounds ominous.
Oh, it's not as bad as all that. And it's a damn sight better than the alternative. We're safe, we're warm, and we're hidden. What more could we ask for? Now stop fretting and take this. You've earned it. Welcome to the fold.
There's no need to...
That's not a matter of need, my friend. You're one of us now.
Quest complete. Alright, that feels good. Make do and mend. Well, we really only get a little bit of experience for that. We got meteorite and gillbug. Contrary to popular belief, this small insect does not get its name from its appearance, but rather from the fact that it is a highly sought after by physicers for use in brewing medicines in summer. When the beetles are most numerous, children across the realm will spend nigh every waking hour collecting specimens in readiness to exchange them for a handful of coppers. As children have tiny hands, however, this amounts to fewer than one might expect. Can be traded for gill. Okay. Let's go speak to Charon.
I need supplies for my journey to Lost Wing. Otto said you could provide them.
What's that? Does the newcomer think it proper to make demands of a poor old matron before even introducing himself?
It's Clive.
Well, Clive, I hear that dog is yours. Since he followed Sid home one night, I've seen to it that his chin's rubbed and his belly fed. Though I suppose that's your job now. Unless you lose him again.
That's not gonna happen.
Not again. Thank you for watching him.
So, were you gonna buy something?
I wonder how long.
You didn't think I'd shower your lordship with my hard-won wares while you swagger about with a pocket full of gill? Life doesn't work that way, lad. Now, let's see some coin.
So obviously, Torgal's been separated from Clive for like 13 years, but I wonder how long they've actually been with Sid. I don't know if that's been clear, and at what time he was separated from Jill. Both consumable items and gear can be purchased at shops around Valisthea. Shop stock changes as the story progresses, so be sure to check in frequently. This is a Final Fantasy XII system. Oh. I could buy one of these. I already have iron bracers. We have everything we could possibly want here. Except the broadsword, which I'm not going to buy.
Why, you've barely a guiltier name. You're taking his side now. And after all I've done for you. All right. All right, I can make an exception. But just this once, mind. My stores are getting cluttered and I need to make room for the next shipment.
Thank you.
Thank me? Thank your dog.
Look at him. Good Torgal. Can I pet the dog? Doesn't seem to let me interact with them right now. The Arate Stone. The Arate Stone is now accessible. This customizable virtual battlescape provides Clive a safe location to test out new abilities and train against all manner of enemies. Additional options will become available as Clive progresses through the story. Okay. Is this like a challenge hall? Own your skills in battle in a customizable training arena, or is this literally just training? Hall of Virtue is a fully customizable battlescape that provides Clyde a safe location to test blah blah blah. Both enemy and ally parameters, input display. Oh, magic burst timing. Enemy aggro turned on. Okay, interesting. Okay, wow, it's fast. Okay, I think I understand the timing of this now. Dang, that's actually hard to do. All right. All right, let's try to get this until we get it. All right. Alright, so what's the timing like on multiple chains? There we go. Look at that. It's a full combo. Interesting. Okay. Oh, cool, and look at that. It shows the like directions the sticker is moving in as well on the right side. That's cool. That's the hard one to hit.
It's over. Oh well.
Look at that. All right, we're getting better at this.
You're finished.
All right.
That's enough.
All right, and it looks like we get different animations sometimes depending on stuff. Oh, okay, here we go.
Stay down.
There we go. All right, interesting. Okay.
It's over.
All right, looks like we got the timing down. Neat. So yeah, this really is just a training mode. Interesting. It seems like these might be battle arenas or something. I'll definitely play around with that once we unlock more of it.
You all done?
Leaving already, are ya?
It's you I'll miss the most, Lady Karen. It always is.
Don't stop you going, does it?
This should be fun.
Right.
I don't want to leave here because I want to read that library, but we'll see if it, yeah, I'll have control here. Okay. Use a world map to instantly travel to previously unlocked locations. New locations are unlocked by progressing through the main story or discovering waymarks known as obelisks. Okay, cool. Let's go check out the library of whatever. Just so that we can see what kind of lore is unlocked in there. I'd really like to check that out.
Careful, you. I've spent the whole morning on this.
This is the Orchestrion. Changing the tune. The background music played in the hideaway can be changed by accessing the Orchestrion. Oh, okay, so this will actually allow us to change things. And we do it the same way that it was done in Final Fantasy XIV, which is through getting Orchestrion rolls. Interesting. Okay. Where is the library? Where was that?
Do you think we should go?
Oh, there it is.
Help.
It's up there. Walked right by it, I guess. Wizened man.
Yours is not a familiar face. Are you new to the hideaway, perchance?
You could say that.
Well then, allow me to welcome you. I am Harpocrates II Hyperboreus.
That's,
Quite a mouthful, I know. Which is why everyone here has taken to calling me simply Tomes, on account of the company I keep. And what varied company. I'm a collector, you see. Not of bijou and baubles, but of stories. The history and culture of these isles have ever been a source of endless fascination to me. But alas, my days of wandering the realm in search of new tales are far behind me. And so I've taken to sharing that which I've gathered with all who might listen. Perhaps you would care to listen. When I was very young...
Oh, I forgot that they don't voice all their dialogue. Oh, it's so weird. Takes me by surprise. When I was very young and lived beyond these shores, my father would read to me every night from the only book we had, A History of Valisthea by Moss the Chronicler. So enchanted was I by this realm of myth and magic, that when I was of age, I enlisted as a deckhand on a merchant galley, that I might see it with my own eyes.
Yet, when I arrived...
what I found was a land of war and suffering, darkened by the Blight and the evil in men's hearts. Still, I was determined to follow in the footsteps of Moss and record what I could, and so I did, in all manner of places and all manner of roles, until my aging legs could carry me no longer.
Fortunately,
Sid found me by the roadside, so to speak, and offered me a place here, where I might continue my studies, albeit without the wandering.
I have compiled some new entries, if you would like to see them.
So the 1,000 Tomes is a comprehensive compendium of Valisian lore, covering everything from basic terms to important persons, geography, and history. New information is constantly added as Clive progresses through the story. Past active time lore entries can also be viewed here.
I don't believe you've read this particular chapter before.
Oh, that's cool.
You
Amateur
wish to study
analyst.
the tomes?
Clever. All right. Oh, so we have tons of names now and characters that we can read about. Clive Rosfield, an Imperial bearer turned deserter after refusing to slay the dominant of Shiva, choosing instead to turn his blade on his own sergeant. As a force of crusaders closed around him, his freedom seemed as if it would be short-lived until the timely intervention of Sid, a man who shared Clive's desire to see the dominant freed from their clutches. Together they escaped to Sid's secret hideaway. Oh, okay, so this just tells us the different pieces. Interesting. And this, it's just a chronicle of like the different times he was together. So, the Blessing of the Phoenix. The boon Joshua bestowed upon his brother upon Clive's ordination as first shield, allowing him to wield fire-aspected magic without a crystal. It has long been custom in Rosaria for the dominant of the Phoenix to share a part of their power in this way, performing this rite of rejuvenation upon those they appoint as their protectors, that they might serve them better. A nation occupying the western reaches. Oh, okay, we've already read these, so these are not all going to be unique. All right, we got quite a few to read. Torgal. First encounter. Clive's faithful friend brought back from the Archduke. We already read this one. We already read this one as well. Half-starved and shivering in a snowfield. Clive's faithful friend, now fully grown. After the tragic events at Phoenix Gate, Clive believed Torgal was lost to him forever. We read that one. Clive's faithful friend, the two were separated on the night of the tragedy at the Phoenix Gate, yet reunited 13 years later in the depths of the Nissa Defile. In the intervening years, Torgal not only grew into a fine hound, but met with Sid, who trained him to work as a hunting dog. After meeting with Clive again, Torgal gladly returns to the service of his former master. Ambrosia, Clive's personal steed. During the attack on the Phoenix Gate, she raced to Clive's rescue, saving him from death at the cost of an eye, a price she gladly paid. Yeah, I guess her eye did just kind of get exploded. Second son of the Archduke of Rosaria, and heir to the ducal throne, upon the night of the Imperial invasion at Phoenix Gate, the shock of seeing his father slain before his disbelieving eyes led him to losing control of his Eikon and setting the castle alight. From the flames rose a second Eikon of fire, whose murderous rampage laid both the castle and the Phoenix low. Alright, so we have quite a few characters here to investigate. Wow, we have a lot of these that I guess I just missed. Let's read a few different things. So, Moss the Chronicler. Far-fabled scholar of Valisthean history and legend, even to this day, much of the surviving knowledge of the distant antiquity of the twins issues from his quill. In his later years, his writings attracted fierce criticism from certain scholarly circles, which resulted in him removing himself from public life. It's very similar to the chronicler mentioned in Final Fantasy Tactics as well. It's another dualism there. Dominant of Fire. A mysterious figure who was first seen amid the chaos of the Imperial invasion of Phoenix Gate immediately before the appearance of the second Eikon of Fire. The very Eikon that slew the heir to the ducal throne, Clive believes this man to be the dominant who murdered his brother and has sworn to take his revenge. Garulf, second in command of Waloed's Royal Intelligencers. Oh, Intelligencers, I love that term. Under Benedicta Harmon, with whom he shares a deep bond of trust. The Kingdom of Waloed. The sole surviving nation in Ash, Waloed has its capital at Stonher, home to the Mother Crystal of Drake's Spine. A warlike land, its considerable military might serves to keep neighboring countries at bay, while Waloed does maintain a notional alliance with the Dhalmekian Republic in Southern Storm. It is very much a marriage of convenience. So Waloed is seemingly masterminded by Benedicta. Republican Prime Minister, leader of the Dhalmekian Parliament, the eldest and most experienced of its members, those elected by the states of the Republic, plus the dominant of Titan, who serve as an official advisor. Alas, Hugo Kupka does not take kindly to his advice being ignored. Dhalmekian Chief Strategist. Chief Strategist and former Field Marshal of the Dhalmekian Republic, while there was a time he took personal command of his troops, Hugo Kupka's rise to prominence led to this being recalled from the battlefield by reason of his advancing age, for which he bears a vainglorious, dominant, a deep-seated grudge. Okay, so these were the dudes we saw in the opening cutscene. Evis. Branded soldier for the Holy Empire of Sombrek, who served alongside Wyvern. None know his true name. He and his band of elite assassins were tasked with taking the head of the dominant of Shiva, but he lost his life to a crusader's axe in the course of the mission. This is Bias. This is a guy who was killed by rocks. Second longest serving of the Bastards, an elite band of slave assassins in service of the Holy Empire of Sambrek. He and his sergeant Tiamat fought alongside one another for many a year, and Biast trusted him with his life. Alas, there was little Tiamat could do to save him from the boulder that was to fall from the skies during their ill-fated mission to infiltrate the Dhalmekian Republic and take the head of Shiva's dominant. Here we have Tiamat. Bearer in service of the Empire of Sambrek, Tiamat, or the man who now bears the name, is the leader of the Bastards, a squadron of elite assassins. It was on a mission to take the head of Shiva's dominant in the Nissa Defile that his subordinate Wyvern, real name Clive Rosfield, turned upon him and cut him down. So this is Tyler, a loyal shield of Rosaria who accompanied Clive on his expedition to Stillwind. Though he did everything in his power to assist Joshua and Archduke Elwin's fight from Phoenix Gate on the night of the attack, his years of distinguished service were to come to a close when he was swallowed by the flames of the rampaging Phoenix. Same with Wade, a loyal shield of Rosaria chosen by Lord Commander Rodney Murdoch to accompany Clive on his expedition to Stillwind. Though he did all he could to return the favor that he owed to Joshua for saving his life as a boy during the attack on Phoenix Gate, Wade was to meet the same fate as the prince. Lord Commander of the Rosarian Army, outranked only by his firm friend Archduke Elwin, Rodney Murdoch and his shields accompanied Elwin and Joshua to Phoenix Gate to perform the rite of the ancestral communion, only to be set upon first by Imperial infiltrators, then a second shadowy Eikon of Fire, within whose flames Murdoch was engulfed. Annabella Rosfield. Duchess of Rosaria, wife of Archduke Elwin, and mother to Clive and Joshua. While she adores her younger son, she treats Clive and Jill with naught but thinly veiled contempt. It was ever her purpose in life to preserve her phoenix-bearing bloodline, for which reason she betrayed her husband, that she might enter in league with a force she judged the mightier, the Holy Empire of Sambrek. It was Annabella's treachery that led to the disaster at Phoenix Gate. It's kind of weird here, though, because she managed to get the Phoenix killed, so she didn't do a very good job. Late Archduke of the Grand Duchy of Rosaria and father of Clive and Joshua, Elwin Rosfield's reign ended when he was beheaded by servants of the Holy Empire of Sambrek in their ignoble attack on Phoenix Gate. Known not only for his inspiring leadership and skill with a blade, but his disapproval of the mistreatment of bearers, his legacy lives on in all of those who oppose imperial rule in what remains of Rosaria. Harpocrates II Hyperboreus, the Hideaway's resident historian, whose love for books has earned him the nickname Tomes. Harpocrates traveled to Valisthea as a youth, seeking to unearth the mysteries of this land of legend, and over the years has developed a deep knowledge of Valisthean geography, history, religion, and folklore. Alright, so that caught us up with most of those characters. Let's just read these. Benedicta Harmon, commander of the Kingdom of Waloed's elite intelligencers, who sits by her liege's side at the highest tables of state, most recently in their negotiations with the Dalmex at the Zernitra stronghold. But Barnabas was not the only one whom she shares a special bond. Benedicta also has eyes and ambitions for Hugo Kupka. Hugo Kupka. His awakening as the dominant of the Eikon Titan thrust him into the forefront of Dhalmekian politics, winning him influence over both the Republic's armies and its policymaking, as well as a personal fortune. He has little love for his country, taking advantage of his position to benefit himself and himself alone. His love for Benedicta Harmon, however, is absolute, and he would gladly betray his every ally just to be with her. Dude's a simp. Respect. Royal Knight Lord Commander. Lord Commander of the Kingdom of Walood's armies, he accompanied his liege to Fort Zernitra in the Republic of Dhalmekia to negotiate the provision of reinforcements from the Royal Order of Knights. Wonder who that even is. King of Walood. The aloof and unshakable Barnabas Tharmer, first of his name. Few can meet his steely gaze without flinching. Blackthorn. Resident blacksmith of Sid's Hideaway, a sullen and secretive sort who prefers to drown his woes in drink than to share them. Goots. Apprentice to Charon, an ally of the Hideaway, a gentle giant who has warm word for everyone, but is not afraid to put his foot down in the face of injustice. Goots' every waking moment is spent in service to his Nan, and he can do little of his own accord without her express permission. Charon, one of Sid's most trusted allies, a merchant who calls the Hideaway her home. With a little help from her hardworking yet long-suffering apprentice Goots, she can source whatever supplies the residents of the Hideaway need, provided they are willing to pay. She wears a glass eye in her right socket. I was going to comment on this. It looked like she had heterochromia, but then I took a closer look at the eye and I knew that something else was off about it, so it is a glass eye. Tarja. Resident physicker of Sid's Hideaway, Tarja is an expert in all manner of medicines and medical interventions, skills that are indispensable in the Deadland home, where they cannot call on healing magics. After Sid brings an unconscious Jill back to the Hideaway from his expedition to the Nissa Defile, she is placed into Tarja's care. Otto, chief steward of Sid's Hideaway, who manages the day-to-day running of their operation in his friend's stead, Sid often being taken far and away by his bearer-liberating activities. Even when Sid is at home, he prefers to leave such busy work to Otto, much to the hard-pressed pursuer's chagrin. Purser's indignation, that's what it was. All right, so there are a few different things here. It doesn't look like we have quite as many. It probably equals out. Battle of the Twin Realms. All right, so now we're getting into the meaty lore. This is exciting. Battle of the Twin Realms. The Battle of the Twin Realms was a conflict fought between the Holy Empire of Sambrek and the Kingdom of Walood in the year 865. Sambrequois forces, with the power of the Eikon Bahamut on their side, oh, that's scary, took the Strait of Altha back from Walood, putting an end to the blockade that had lasted several decades. The Walooders, looking to hold back the Sambrequois advance by any means necessary, formed an alliance with the Dhalmekian Republic, who themselves were waging war against the Iron Kingdom on the Western Front, prevented the Empire from progressing any further. Okay, interesting. So, obviously, we're conscripted by the Sambrek Kingdom, and we're fighting against Dhalmekia and Walood. But it seems to me like Dhalmekia and Walood are not going to be allies in our fight, even though it's very clear that Sambrek is going to be a major enemy for us, because that's where Annabella is. So that's like really interesting politics already. Crystalline Orthodox. A religion dedicated to the worship of the Mother Crystals, its priesthood enjoy great power with the Patriarch, leader and chief shepherd of the faithful, the most powerful of all. While best known as the state religion of the insular Iron Kingdom, it was once practiced throughout Valisthea. To its believers, the Mother Crystals are literal gods, and the wasteful expenditure of ether through the use of magic is strictly forbidden. As such, those who do use magic, dominants and bearers both, are seen as subhuman abominations. Drake's Breath. One of Valisthea's 5 remaining Mother Crystals, located on the volcanic isle known to the Iron Blood as Bain Lodath, in the seas between Rosaria and the Iron Kingdom. Though its occupation can historically be traced to the Duchy, control of the crystal was recently wrested from Rosaria's grasp by the Crusade following the series of bitter conflicts. The Iron Kingdom, an archipelago nation situated off the west coast of Storm with its capital at Craigloy. The Mother Crystal, Drake's Breath, rises from a volcanic island situated just between its borders, and is worshipped as a god, just as the state religion, the Crystalline Orthodox, dictates. The same religion decrees the use of magic to be anathema, and the bearers and dominants who use it to be sinful aberrations, leading to even greater discrimination than is suffered by their brethren on the mainland. Given their stated desire to control all the mothers, the Ironbloods' attitude towards other nations is of indelible antagonism. Some of these place names I'm going to need to hear the pronunciation of, because I'm just kind of going off 2 weeks of the Irish Gaelic that I took in a linguistics course in my freshman year of college. The Zernitra Consult. Looking to bring an end to their long-running conflict with the Iron Kingdom, the Dalamex convened a council with their Waluder allies at Zernitra stronghold. However, the Waluders were unwilling to concede to the Dalamex request, leaving the Republic no choice but to field its dominant, Hugo Kupka. In doing so, Parliament further indebted itself to this already powerful player in national politics. Interesting. So yeah, I guess Benedicta in this case, and her king were very stalwart, which benefits them because it means they're not losing anyone. But it also made Hugo, who is directly an ally of Benedicta and Walud, infinitely more powerful. So Dhalmekia is on the back foot here, because even though their Titan fought off Shiva, being in debt to their Titan puts them in debt to Walud. That's cool. That's cool political maneuvering. The Battle of Nissa was a short yet bloody clash between the Iron Republic and the Republic of Dhalmekia in the year 873. The Dhalmekians, hoping to force an end to their long-running conflict with the Ironblood, had convened a council at Zernitra stronghold and entreated their Waluder allies to aid them in their cause. However, talks soon broke down, and the Dhalmekians were left with no choice but to rely once more on the power of the mighty Titan, to whom they already owed a considerable debt. Thus was the stage for their showdown between Titan and Shiva, the Ironblood's own Eikon, in which losses on both sides were too many to count. Yeah, nonetheless, though, this was really smart political maneuvering by the Waluders, because they knew that it would just benefit them. The Republican Parliament. The highest council of government of the Republic of Dhalmekia. 7 ministers are responsible for ruling the nation, though their will is often molded to that of their permanent economic advisor, Hugo Kupka, who leverages his power as the dominant of Titan to shape the Republic's policy. Men of the Fist. Dhalmekia's standing army. While officially an organ of the Republic, each of its 5 states is granted relative autonomy with regard to the management of its troops. Aside from certain specialized squads, battle deployments are mostly comprised of small units employing a mixture of foot soldiers and battle mages. The former are known and feared for their curved swords and prodigious axes and the deadly skill with which they wield them. Fort Zernitra. A stronghold situated at the western end of the Nissa Defile in the Dhalmekian Republic. In the year 873, it served as the site of a meeting convened by the Dhalmekians with their Waluder allies in an attempt to enlist their aid in driving back the Ironblood, who had been a thorn in their side since the Battle of the Twin Realms 8 years before. The Dhalmekian Republic, a nation formed from a federation of 5 smaller states. It is located in the southern half of the continent of Storm and its capital at Randella. It is also home to the mother crystal known as Drake's Fang. There is no official state religion, and citizens are free to worship as they please. Dhalmekia's key political entity is the Parliament, which is formed of ministers representing each of the states, with the Prime Minister at its head. So interesting. This is more of it's a republic, right? But it's it's seemingly a democracy with a parliament that gets elected. And obviously Kupka just being the dominant gives him political power. So it seems like pretty much everyone is, for lack of a better word, free in fantasy terms here. But they're allied with the monarchy, and the monarchy is leveraging power over the republic, which is kind of interesting politically. And then we have a theocracy in Sambrek and a theocracy in the Ironblood Island, or Ironblood Kingdom, so that's cool. Dragoon, a lance-wielding knight of the Holy Empire of Sambrek. The Dragoons are trained in a unique acrobatic fighting style modeled after the movements of dragons, which is characterized by sudden thrusts and disorienting leaps and dives. Gregorian scripture, because that refers to Grieger, the goddess, hold the creatures to be divine, a gift from the goddess herself, and so too are their namesakes revered by the populace. So this is actually setting up something dangerous too, because Grieger is another religion, a goddess, different from the crystals. So the Dhalmekian Republic probably has atheists, people who believe in Grieger, and people who believe in the crystal orthodoxy because it used to be common in the land. So the Republic is probably going to fall due to warring oppositional sides here, due to all of the other kingdoms that are fighting it actively having hands in the culture of the Republic. Knight of Flames. An Imperial attack on Rosarian forces stationed at Phoenix Gate made under the cover of night in the year 860. Archduke Elwin Rosfield was killed in the fighting, as were his 2 sons, though the bodies of the latter were never recovered, having thought to have been wholly consumed by hellfire. So right here it says Joshua was never, his body was never found, so I think that's also a hint that he's probably still alive. He was reborn in the Phoenix. Having thought to have been wholly consumed by hellfire. The attack was widely rumored to have been facilitated by the traitorous Duchess Annabella, though official explanations attempted to shift the blame onto the Phoenix having run inexplicably rampant. Alright. Let's read about the actual places real quick. Valisthea, a realm comprising the twin continents of storm and ash over which the mother crystals stand timeless vigil. At the foot of each, great cities have risen up over the eons, and around them powerful nations. The land has been blessed with the light of magic since time immemorial. In recent years, a creeping blackness has begun to gnaw at its borders, the Blight. Storm, the westerly of Valisthea's two great continents. With its frozen northern reaches, its temperate marshy midlands, and the searing heat of the south, it boasts a breadth of climes and cultures not seen anywhere else in the known realms. Sid's Hideaway, a hidden refuge built on fallen ruins. So accustomed are the so-called branded to ill treatment at their master's hands that their first experience of something approaching freedom within the hideaway's walls, be it even something as small as a hot meal or a soft bed, can come as a considerable shock. Rosalith, capital city of the Duchy of Rosaria, Rosalith Castle, seat of the Archduke, stands at the heart of the storied settlement, whose marketplaces teem with activity. Alas, the encroaching blight has rendered vast swaths of the land to the north uninhabitable, driving refugees south in ever greater numbers and placing an unbearable strain on Rosalith's all too finite resources. Nice, we're all caught up there then. Very good. Oh boy. We got a lot of these to read. So this is going to be background mysteries, right? Just background pieces of lore. The Journal of Moss. The Annals of Moss the Chronicler, a scholar of Valisthean history, noted not only for his singular insight, but for the lyricism of his writing, an exceptionalism that earned him the enmity of fellow scholars and drove him from public life. Such were their misgivings towards him that only a handful of copies of the journal were ever produced, making a tome a prize among collectors. Orchestrion, curious clockwork contraption that's able to perform several different musical compositions at the flick of a switch. Bard, traveling minstrels who journey from place to place, performing in hostelries across Valisthea to the accompaniment of lute or lyre. They provide not only entertainment, but information on the state of the realm, often singing of significant events and important personages. The Hideaway has its own resident bard, that the illiterate amongst its residents might remain informed. So bards were really important in olden times as well for trading not only rumors, but just straight up news. Rosarian National Anthem. Perhaps the most beloved ditty in the duchy, the Rosarian National Anthem was written for the occasion of the new nation's founding, and is filled with patriotic imagery of rolling meadows, rising flames, and stirring song. It was oft heard raising the rafters of ducal alehouses, particularly close to closing time, where disputes over the lyrics to the less practiced third verse would occasionally end in fisticuffs. Beastmen. Somewhat derogatory nomen given to the collective group of demi-humanoid beings that includes goblins, orcs, and minotaurs. Minotaurs! Gimme the hot bull dads! Beastmen tend to differ from most wild creatures in demonstrating a distinct intelligence, possessing the capacity for spoken and sometimes even written language, as well as complex tool building. Many have developed unique, albeit simple, civilizations of their own. With civilization, however, will always come the desire to expand, and it is this ambition that has resulted in countless clashes with humanity over the centuries. RHA Stone, a mysterious ceramic tablet that stands in the hideaway of a similar construction to other relics of the Fallen, yet seemingly not a part of the airship proper. Oh, the Fallen is an airship. Interesting. Its imposing appearance suggests some important function that has been lost to time. Whatever strange secrets lie within it, it seems to react to Clive's presence and urges him to unlock its hidden potential. All right, so here's where we get more like lore encyclopedia info. Like this is like what words mean. It's like a glossary. Priming, the act of a dominant transforming their living flesh into that of their icon. Dominants most often prime during times of war, using the immense strengths of their icons to turn the tides of battle. Though it is usually done deliberately, the dominant remaining in control of the icon when primed. On occasion, a dominant will lose control of their powers and see their icon run riot. We have icons, magical beings of godlike strength who dwell within human hosts known as dominants, only emerging when the dominant primes. History records 8 icons in total, each with a unique elemental affinity. It's commonly held that 2 icons of the same element cannot coexist, but as none have ever witnessed all of these rare creatures together, that conjecture has yet to be proven. Dominants are those within whom seeps the power of an icon. Though they look and think no differently to any other man and woman, they can not only cast elemental magics without a crystal, but also transform themselves into beasts of world-shattering strength at any moment, a quality for which they are honored, worshipped, and feared the realm over. Brand. The mark applied to the cheeks of bearers across Valisthea, identifying them as something other than human. Newborn babes are checked at birth, those who are found to be bearers being branded and taken into custody of the state. Rarely, bearers evade this test. either because their parents hide them, the testers are lax in their duties, or their powers do not awaken until later, yet most do not remain unbranded for long. Alright, the Fallen, an ancient yet highly advanced civilization whose relics can be found across the length and breadth of Valisthea. The material from which these relics are constructed is far sturdier than steel and cannot be worked by modern methods, so the people of the modern day have elected to build inside and around them instead. Okay, so the Fallen are an old civilization that had advanced technology like airships and stuff. That's intriguing. I wonder what they're going to do with that. That sort of trope has shown up a few times in Final Fantasy, but... Deadlands. Barren wastes bereft of ether where no life stirs and magic is all but unusable. Here, both earth and water are stained black, preventing any seed from quickening. In recent years, the Blight has spread ever more widely, displacing whole nations before it, driving once peaceable fauna to violent desperation and leaving silent devastation in its wake. Okay, so now we're learning what the Blight is. The Blight is basically the consumption of ether. So I was right. It is like Mako just being pulled from the environment and killing everything. Title granted to the mightiest and most stalwart shield of the Rosarian army, the first shield is entrusted with the personal protection of the dominant of the Phoenix. It is gifted a portion of the Eikon's power over flame, a boon known as the Blessing of the Phoenix. Ether, the life force of the land and source of all magic. The amount of ether a spell consumes depends on its strength, with those manifesting more potent forces over a wider area coming at a greater cost. Larger crystals can channel more ether than smaller ones, and this can be used to cast more powerful magics. One might use a small rationed shard to grill a fish, but would require a large municipal crystal to fire a blacksmith's forge. Crystal rations. Shards of a crystal small enough to be held in the hand, which allow those who are not born bearers to cast magics. The nations of the twins see such shards mined from the mother crystals and distributed to the populace, so that every man and woman of good character, bearers, criminals, and other undesirables, not included, might enjoy the gift of magic. It is common for people to keep them about their persons in a protective case. So that's interesting, because now we know that most people need crystals to cast magic, but Benedicta didn't. But she doesn't have a brand, so is she a dominant too? Because I don't know if we've seen Waloed's dominant yet, so does she... I think she's a dominant. I would guess that's what that is. Municipal shards. Large shards of crystal that are entrusted to towns and cities across Valisthea in order to serve the populace. Where those shards rationed out to individuals might suffice to fill a cup or light an oven, municipal shards fill wells, fire forges, and light the streets of the great cities of the twins. Crystals are one of the most valuable materials known to mankind, thanks to its ability to channel ambient aether from the air, allowing those without innate power to do so to cast magics, and as most Valistheans cannot live without magic, its supply and distribution is heavily regulated by governments across the twins. A given shard can only channel a certain amount of ether before it shatters, so the need for new crystals is incessant. Magic. The art of channeling ether to make one's imagination manifest. This can take the aspect of one of the 8 elements: fire, water, wind, earth, ice, thunder, light, and dark, or more rarely, be unaspected. While bearers and dominants can cast spells at will, others require a crystal to do so. Magic is part of everyday life for the people of Valisthea, making it all but unlivable when they are deprived of its gift. Alright, look at this. We have... Bestiaries. I've been curious about these. Stelasses. Owls capable of transmitting the thoughts of others, specifically those with whom they are attuned. In response to an ancient incantation, their lithified third eyes store these thoughts in the form of ether, allowing them to be passed on as and when required, though only to the intended recipient. Stelasses are mainly kept by royals, nobles, and other figures of authority for the purpose of sending secret or urgent messages. The incantation Omia lost Elan to Isag Elitha can be loosely translated as, "My will is now thy burden, ne'er cleft our bond shall be." Interesting. I was curious what that meant, because that was an ongoing mystery, sort of. Excuse me, sorry, I sneezed. Favored steeds by the people of Valisthea, Chocobos are mainly bred for riding. Some are used to pull wagons, and some are even eaten, but the boldest and bravest are put forward for use in the military. They are intelligent, fiercely loyal creatures, and tend to tolerate only their master's attention. While Chocobos are no less vigilant and will readily attack anyone who they perceive to be a threat, anyone who isn't carrying a fistful of Jazal greens, that is. More bowls. The foul cocktail of bile and partially digested prey that accumulates within these giant carnivorous plants' bellies make their breasts so spectacularly rancid that it can be used as a weapon to repel would-be attackers. Morbals favor more humid climes, such as those found on the volcanic isles of the Iron Kingdom. However, the spread of the Blight has driven the mobile flora to cooler areas, such as the swamps of Rosaria. Aegis. As they are oft witnessed in the presence of goblins, many believe that these lumbering brutes to be goblins themselves, albeit once have grown to prodigious size. Scholars, however, deny these claims and insist the two tribes are independent in their relationship, a symbiotic one with the Gigas, providing protection to the slighter goblins, who in turn provide the craftless giants with sundry arms and vestures, such as the charnel carcanets, created from the bones of their victims. I have no idea what that means. I assume it's just their necklace. The spread of the Blight has seen both tribes impinge on human territory with increased frequency, and recent spottings have put them as close to civilization as 3 reeds in Rosaria. Shiva. The Warden of Ice, whom Jill Warwick is the current dominant, with her glacial aspect and ability to conjure boreal boulders from the ether. Shiva's appearance on the battlefield makes her enemies' blood run cold. Phoenix. The Warden of Fire, last seen on the night of the Imperial invasion of the Phoenix Gate in the year 860, when the young Joshua Rosfield lost control of his powers. The Phoenix first awakened among motes of fire, an ancient tribe who dwelled in the western reaches of Storm. The careful preservation of bloodlines among Rosarian nobility ensured that its dominant would always be born in the ducal line. The second Eikon of Fire. This is clearly Ifrit. Fire-aspected Eikon that first emerged in the year of the Realm 860, where Imperial forces attacked the Rosarian stronghold at Phoenix Gate. Clad in infernal flame, the fiendish creature flung itself against the Phoenix, overpowering the Eikon with a strength and ferocity never seen before or since. Titan, the Warden of Earth, whom Hugo Kupka is the current dominant. He takes the form of a stone-skinned giant whose granite fists shake the earth with every mighty pummel. Titan's dominant awakens among the peoples of Dhalmekian deserts, the recipient of his strength being granted great power and status by the Republic in return for commitment to protect the nation in times of war. Alrighty. Hey, look at that. We read all of the lore entries.
Welcome, Clive.
That was pretty interesting. We learned a whole lot about the world and how it works. We got clarity on what the twins were. We got clarity on how bearers work, how crystals work, and we learned more about characters like Hugo and the Kingdom of Waloed, who are still a mystery, and most importantly, I think Benedicta. So this sets up for a real interesting next mission, I think. We'll have to see where this goes.